What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. You check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on Rich Paul has just made so many outrageous statements, man, that like he is not only is he not helping LeBron James. I think he's ruining LeBron James' chance for not only getting picked up, but he's ruining LeBron James his legacy because Rich Paul is focusing on the wrong things, right? Um, Number one, Rich Paul should not be on a podcast, talking about the GOAT debate between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, right? Because he don't have time for that. Rich Paul' main job should be trying to build LeBron James image. LeBron James wants to have a certain type of image, but in real like it's too late for LeBron James to build his image because he had 23 years to do it, and Rich Paul has been in charge of clutch or running clutch since what 2016, so that's 10 years. He blew it. He blew it. Right. This reminds me of remember Goodfellas when you had that the character, I don't know, Robert De Niro played the character, and he was he had that show in Las Vegas, and he was on TV gambling, like giving like sports betting information and stuff like that. And his the muscle of the group, the guy was, I think his name was Tommy. He got called to New York, and the people in New York said, "Hey, look, man, get him off TV. He bringing too much attention to what we're doing. We making enough money. We do not need him on TV. He's hurting the business." And that's who he is. That's who Rich Paul is. He got to get off of these podcasts because he's not focusing on building LeBron James' image and presenting LeBron James in a way that's going to endear him to his public and to the fan base, which I think LeBron James and Rich Paul, like LeBron James has been in the league 23 years. He completed 23. He's going into his 24th year. And I say this in every video. The whole battle between Michael Jordan and LeBron James has been about that fan base, captivating the fan base and gaining their love and their appreciation. That a way you can always tap into that market. That market gives you leverage. And it's the same thing with like Kobe Bryant, or even lately, the young lady Caitlin Clark. Like her fan base gives her leverage. So if you stay firm and you want to do business with Caitlin Clark, you're gonna have to give her a certain amount of money because of her fan base and her influence. Same thing with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is outselling everybody with sneakers. Like if Michael Jordan decided today that he was going to sell anything, bubble gum, plumbing supplies, it don't matter, man. Michael Jordan has a market that he can tap into. And if you're the sponsor or you're his business partner, you know that Michael Jordan comes with a certain amount of leverage. And that's not the case for LeBron James. His management has been living off of the fact that he's LeBron James and he's in the NBA. When what they should have been doing was trying to build his image and present him in a light that almost make him look like the boy next door, right? LeBron James already don't get in trouble off the court. He's a married man raising kids, so that you can build on it. It was so easy to build on that, but Rich Paul didn't do that, right? Rich Paul just took advantage of the fact that LeBron James is an NBA player. I can toss LeBron James' name around and get into certain rooms where nowhere in the world people going to be listening to Rich Paul, a dude who used to sell T-shirts out of the trunk of his car. Now all of a sudden he's riding on LeBron James' coattail, and he think that he has a certain amount of legitimacy, and it don't work like that. Rich Paul has let LeBron James down. When somebody give you the type of opportunity that LeBron James gave Rich Paul, Maverick Carter, Randy Mims, You come in there, and you be like, you know what? I'm gonna add some value to you. You find ways to add value. You just don't go in there and you be a mouthpiece thinking that that's enough. It's not enough, man. You got to add value because once LeBron James retired and he don't have that fan base and he don't have that public approval, that's his representatives. Those his agent. That's his agent fault. That's like his agent is partly to blame. Nowhere in the world for 23 years LeBron James had free advertising. Right, the NBA put LeBron James in front of millions, if not billions, of people. He had thousands of opportunities to repair his image, um, and to build his image, right? And for 23 years, he did not take advantage of that. You don't want to be the type of person that's a polarizing figure especially when you have the opportunity to be put in a more positive light. Why should LeBron James, like when LeBron James went to Miami Heat, he took a lot of flack for that. And that was up until what I think he left there in 2015 or something like that, right? So the number one goal for them should have been to repair and rebuild LeBron James' image. Not for LeBron James to lean into it and tell fans, in press conferences, you just go back to your normal life, and I'm gonna go ahead and live my life as a rich, athlete. That's a big no-no. You don't come out, even though it might be some truth to it. You don't come out and say, it's only a game. You got to be careful with statements like that. And the people around LeBron James, they just yes men. They allowed and they co-signed for LeBron James to do anything. When like LeBron James' success is tied to their success, even if they were looking at it from a selfish point of view, and they was like, you know what? Sooner or later, these kind of comments and your arrogance, if people see you as arrogant, it's going to hurt you. Potential business partners, if they see LeBron James as being arrogant and somebody who is who takes shortcuts, they're not going to do business with him. And LeBron James, all his leverage right now is tied to the fact that he is currently in the NBA. And I think that LeBron James did not want to take a pay cut personally because, like, that's the NBA. That's where his big paydays, like the bulk of his paydays, come from. Like Mike now, like Mike been one that LeBron James, the GOAT debate, and it's not like I said. It was so hard. Kobe came close to captivating people the way that Michael Jordan did. The only reason why Kobe probably didn't surpass Mike, and it's not because of the rings, is because Kobe spent a good amount of time emulating Mike instead of being himself. That's what the downfall. Like Mike is just winning across the board, right? That's what the downfall was. People was like, "Oh, you just trying to be like Mike." If Kobe would have came in and just like the Black Mamba Kobe, if he'd have been the Black Mamba Kobe from day one, from the door, he probably would have gave Mike a more of a run at his money, a run for the money, right? But he came in trying to be like Mike, walk like Mike, giving interviews like Mike. People didn't want that. We already had that. People want you to be you, right? And so, but and Kobe realized that, like be yourself. Be yourself. LeBron James, man, had 23 years of free advertising and promotion from the NBA, and he is still a polarizing figure. And as a business, like Walmart can't afford to be polarizing. Target can't afford to be polarizing. Coke can't afford to be polarizing. Pepsi, like these big businesses, man, they spend a lot of money on their public image and public perception. anytime something happened, like what Target had the incident with, and people were striking and boycotting Target. Target want to correct that, and they do things for the community that they feel like that was offended, just to repair their public image. But these dudes, man, who this guy Rich Paul is doing a podcast hustling backwards, man. He still think that he is hustling out of the trunk of his car. And he did LeBron James a disservice, man. You shouldn't, as a basketball player, have a 50% approval rate. It's different with politicians, because politicians, you got to pick a side. Basketball, man, I'd have had LeBron James out there kissing babies, man, because it's not necessary. All you got to do is play hard and give everything you do on the court. That's what Kobe said. I don't feel bad about walking away from the game because I left everything on the court. And then if LeBron as a player leave everything on the court, then all his agent and his representatives and his publicists have to do is just market him that way through that. Look at LeBron James out there on the court diving or taking hard charges, and they had to carry him off the court. That's like the Mike with the flu game. Scott, people remember that, whether it was dramatic or overreacting or not. People remember that. But LeBron James didn't have enough of those type of memories, to create that type of fan base that will follow and want to be a part of that, man. So they dropped the ball big time, LeBron and his minion, Rich Paul, man. And he's on a sinking ship with a mop. This guy got a mop on a sinking ship and don't know, and ain't nothing he can do to help LeBron James. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I'm going to check you all out in the next video. Peace.